this video we're going to talk about foods that are deceptively fine, healthy, okay, but may pose a risk to your weight loss goals. My name is Olga Onoschenko. I'm a psychotherapist, nutritionist, a personal trainer, and I got a PhD from the University of Sheffield. And this is a channel about physiology and psychology of weight loss. And before I start, you need to know that weight loss is not about self-punishment, inhuman discipline, and saying no to old and unhealthy foods. You can achieve healthy weight without torturing yourself if you have enough knowledge in both nutrition and behavior science. So subscribe to this channel in order to get more information about weight loss and lose weight for good. What makes food weight loss friendly and what makes food a danger to your weight loss goals? I want you to understand the context of nutrition, of physiology, of psychology before we move on to 10 products, to 10 foods that may halt your weight loss progress. What do all these foods have in common? First, they mask as healthy foods. Second, most of them are calorie dense. Third, most of them do not provide compensatory effect. It means that some foods helps us to stay fuller for longer. They help us to reduce appetite for the whole day. But some foods do not help us do so. For many people, these foods will be different, but if we say cake or chocolate, it will be universally unhelpful to anyone. Or we would take a balanced meal with a lot of protein and fiber and healthy carbs that will be universally filling to most people. Well, carbs depends. Carbs is really, even healthy carbs is a really interesting question. There are a lot of individual differences in how carbs influence appetite of different people. And third, palatability, or is it fourth? Palatability, most of these foods are quite tasty. Some of these foods are quite palatable, and it is easier to overeat. We keep eating because it tastes good. Also, I need to tell you that it's not about separate foods. It's about the context of your diet and your lifestyle. It's not only about what you eat, but how much you eat. Portions make all the difference. If I eat half croissant, it will do me good. And if I eat it after a workout. If I eat whole croissant, here I am talking about pain au chocolat that I buy from local bakery. It's quite big. It's not just croissant, it's filled with cream and chocolate. So half is more than enough. If I have second half, I will just not feel good. And in this context, croissant can be both good and bad for me. Help me with weight loss or prevent me from losing weight. Then it's about food combinations. We may have, for example, bread, and we can combine it with chicken breast, for example, avocado and cucumber. Simple white bread that is not considered healthy is metabolized in a different way in our bodies, in a better way than as compared to a white toast with jam on top. In one case, bread becomes a neutral product. In other case, well, it's also neutral, but for some people it may not be good, not be filling enough, not be tolerated enough if you are not really glucose tolerant, not insulin sensitive. So I don't want to scare you of any foods. I just want you to make informed decisions. And then it's very important why we eat. We can eat chocolate to enjoy the taste. A small portion of chocolate in a calm environment, really noticing the flavor, the taste, the notes. It can be really good quality chocolate. Or we can mindlessly eat Fruit and Nut by Cadbury's, the whole bar, in these two cases. Or we can mindlessly eat Snickers bar. Maybe it will be same in terms of calories and in terms of sugar, but very often when we eat mindlessly, this food will most probably be unnecessary to you. It will add up to extra calories. And very often it means that this is stress eating, that our body really does not need this sugar. And moreover, this food does not help you cope with the problem you're facing at the moment. In this case, chocolate becomes an escape, a way to turn away from your problem and your emotions. And if this becomes a pattern, you do it again and again, extra calories are coming again and again into your body, and this is how you gain weight. Just by eating unnecessary food, the food you didn't even enjoy. And of course, let's not forget about other factors that influence our weight and our health. It's our environment, ecological environment, microplastic, for example, or pollution in the air. It's our social circle. Do we have enough friends we feel safe and comfortable with and feel sort of socially protected? Do we have a lot of stress in life? How is our job? Many people lose their health to their jobs because they're so stressful. They get disconnected from their bodies. They do not have time or do not have energy to exercise. And isn't it a price too high for paying your bills or going on another holiday? Okay, I'm not telling you to leave your job, but it's really important to be aware what serves you and what doesn't serve you and work with it in psychotherapy. Because if you have this thinking pattern of unsafety, if you do not work extra hard, if you do not ignore yourself, your needs for recovery, your needs for feeling calm and feeling good. I forgot the beginning of the question, but probably you got the point. It can be really hard to overcome these patterns. You do need to work with a psychotherapist to achieve it, most probably, and it will take time. Okay, let's go to foods. First of all, it's high-fat foods. We all know that processed meats are bad and associated and are associated with health risks, but we sometimes forget that healthy organic meats, but higher in fat, such as grass-fed rump steak, or which steak is fatter, I don't remember, like fatty steak, is very high in calories, very calorie dense. Chicken wings, even if it's an organic chicken, or meatballs, even if these are the best meatballs in the world, they're normally very high in fat. Even if these are the best meatballs in the world, cooked from scratch, they all are high in fat. And they don't tell you to eat zero-fat diet, not at all. It's important to also include fatty parts of meat in your diet, but not every day, because it all adds up to calories without enough compensation. Compensation means if I eat chicken wings worth of 700 calories now, I will be less hungry later. Yeah, I will be less hungry, but not enough. The difference will be not enough to compensate for overeating now. And it's very easy to overeat high-fat foods because they're calorie dense. They are not voluminous, so your brain does not read the satiety signal. It doesn't stretch enough so that its receptors send signals to the brain that that's it, I'm full, I'm good. That's why, by the way, it's recommended to wait for 15-20 minutes after meal if you want something else. Just wait and see. Maybe it's just your satiety signals did not switch on immediately. Moreover, saturated fat does impact your cholesterol levels. If you have problems with cholesterol, be careful with that. And very often you have more fat in such foods than protein. Especially with the trend of keto diets, people learn to feel safe around fatty meats. You should feel safe around any food, to be honest, but keto diet somehow influences our psychology, that we stop controlling fat consumption whatsoever. And then we come off keto diet, problems begin, because we add carbs to already fatty nutrition. Second, sushi. For many people, sushi is a lighter option. So if you take out sushi, it's sort of better than curry or pizza. There is a grain of truth to it, but it really depends on which sushi you have. For example, in my favorite restaurant here in Sheffield, they have typhoon rolls, they call it, and it's salmon mixed with tempura butter. It's super heavy, it's delicious, but it's so heavy that even I can feel it. Normally I tolerate any food really good, but there is so much fat that it makes you feel bad, actually. And talking about rice, and then let's talk about portions. If it's sushi rolls, if we're not talking about sashimi, which is just raw fish, which can be amazing. Sushi rolls normally involve rice, and if you have a lot of rolls, there will be a lot of rice. Nothing bad about white rice, but there will be lack of fiber. In cheaper sushi, there will be lack of fish, so you will end up with unbalanced meal, full of fast carbs. Fast carbs are those that convert very quickly into glucose in our blood, and lack of fiber and protein. And this is a recipe for being hungry soon again. I'm not feeling really great either. And then they may have Philadelphia cheese and mayonnaise and some fried stuff, tempura stuff, and it makes even 6 pieces of sushi rolls quite calorific, calorie dense. Let's not be afraid of calories, let's just be aware of calorie density. How much calories the food contains per 100 gram. Broccoli 100 gram 20 calories, chocolate 100 gram 550 calories. Third, eggplant. Please do not be afraid of eggplants, and courgettes actually as well. Don't be afraid of any vegetables, but very often eggplant is cooked in a lot of oil, or courgettes can be deep fried in butter, and then it makes healthy, delicious vegetable a really high calorie food. Parmigiana, Italian, it's delicious. It's when eggplants are aubergines, or eggplants, should I say English American, aubergines are fried in olive oil. They soak olive oil really, really well. They absorb it as a sponge. And then there will be a layer of aubergine, a layer of tomato sauce, layer of parmesan, and more of these layers, and it's a calorie bomb. It's very healthy, it's delicious. I've never met a client who would gain weight because of eating a lot of fried aubergine. But be aware, if you are on a fat loss mission, you do not need calories you just can avoid some calories without much cost, much psychological cost, much cognitive restraint. 4. Hummus and falafel. Hummus is very high calorie dense, high in fat. If it's a part of a meze and we dip bread and carrots and peppers in hummus and have a couple of bites, that's fine. But when I have hummus in my fridge, a pot of hummus, I can eat it all. It's so tasty, it's so healthy, it makes me feel good. But this pot will be a lot of calories and worth of a meal, but it will not fill me up enough. It may actually fill me up, but still there is not enough protein, there is too much fat. It's not really a balanced meal. So do not be afraid of hummus, but beware of calories. Falafel, I really do not understand it, that's my subjective point. It's a Mediterranean food, yes, and Mediterranean foods are regarded as healthy, right? But it's deep fried in oil. Is it worth it? Very often people choose to put falafel into their wrap instead of meat. But do they actually win? They just lose fiber. They lose protein. Yes, they gain a bit of fiber, but they do not reduce calories, they do not add up to satiety. If you like the taste of falafel, again, you shouldn't avoid it, but do not consider it a healthy food. And be aware of calories. Sometimes meat is healthier than falafel. Beware of fat quant. Sandwiches. They can be extremely low in protein and they can be made of really low quality products. So what you should look, and also these sandwiches can go very well with chips and juice. We'll talk about juice a little bit later, but this combination will not keep you full for long and it's quite calorie dense. I wanted to say crisps, not chips. It's quite calorie dense. And if you choose your sandwich not wisely, it can be very low in protein as well. What would be normal protein content in sandwich? 20 grams. 20 grams plus. So we want more filling, we want more protein, more fiber. Read the information on the packaging. And instead of crisps, go for a fruit. Instead of juice, go for something lower in sugar. It shouldn't be zero sugar, but if we talk about fruit juice, it shouldn't be zero sugar, but we'll talk a little bit later about. And otherwise, sandwich can be really good, especially if it's made with wholemeal bread. If it's full of protein, it can be egg sandwich, prawn, chicken, pastrami, and so on. Beware of processed meats, though. Do not abuse processed meats. So ham, for example, can be low calorie and filling, but it does not mean your diet should consist of ham only. Oh, by the way, fatty fish. I talked about sushi, I talked about meat, but I didn't cover the topic of fatty fish. Eat fatty fish, please. It shouldn't be all white fish, all low-fat fish, because high-fat fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies are high in omega-3 fatty acids. And that's super important for our health. They are essential fatty acids. We only can take them from diet. And if you do not have at least 2 good portions of fatty fish a week, which I sometimes notice myself not having, go for capsules, high quality omega-3 capsules. Look at DHA and plus APA content in these capsules. 6. Avocado. Sandwich very often goes with avocado, which is great. It adds fiber, it adds healthy fats. Avocado is a healthy product, hands down, full of micronutrients, but it's not really sustainable. Even if we buy from a reputable source, from some good high standard farm, avocado as a plant takes too much water to grow, and this is not really sustainable. So I love avocado, but I minimized its consumption only when I crave it very much. Then I go for avocado, and it's also very high calorie dense. If you are on a weight loss journey, be careful with avocado. As I always say, I don't know anyone, none of my clients was not losing weight because of avocado. Like healthy whole foods normally do have quite good compensatory effect. But if you want your progress to be faster, you need to be cautious with calorie density. Avocado is 300 calories, if not more, per fruit. Next, fruit smoothies and juices, as promised. Well, fruit juices are separate, smoothies are separate. Why? Because fruit juices have no fiber. Fiber is protective. Food matrix is very important. That's why fruit is full of sugar, but it's healthy for you. Even if you're insulin resistant, fruit in moderation, in the context of balanced diet and calorie deficit, can be good for you, especially in calorie deficit. You can eat fruit and not worry about your liver. But if we make juice out of this fruit, fiber goes and all the beneficial effects go with it. Smoothie is a little bit better, but if you look at shop-bought smoothie, and compare amount of sugar there and in soda, it will be the same. Yes, there is still fiber, that's okay, but it's liquid calories. Liquid calories are easier to overconsume, and it's not very balanced. If you may have a fruit smoothie and have 4 pieces of fruit in it, it will be 300 calories and not really filling. You can make these 300 calories much more filling. Again, it doesn't mean that you should avoid all the smoothies, but again, beware of balancing your plate and of hidden calories. 8. Alcohol. I know a lot of women who are on diet but not on alcohol diet. So they save their calories to make room for wine, cocktails, low-calorie cocktails. But alcohol is a toxin, first of all. Sugar is not toxin, alcohol is a toxin. Ask ChatGPT what toxin is. It's very dangerous for your health. There is no safe amount of alcohol. Second, alcohol promotes disinhibition of our control function. When we are drunk, we are more likely to eat unnecessary food. Alcohol also makes you less energetic for the next day, lowering your metabolism. You're less likely to exercise, you're more likely to be hungry. Why else you will be hungry? Because alcohol impairs our sleep. You may think that you sleep very well with alcohol, but if you track your sleep with Oura Ring or Whoop bracelet or even Apple Watch, or Fitbit also tracks sleep, okay, you will find that your quality of sleep is always worse after alcohol. And if we have bad quality sleep, our insulin sensitivity goes down, our blood sugar becomes dysregulated. This dysregulates our appetite, this increases our cravings. Maybe not this, sorry, that's not evidence-based what I'm saying, but also the tiredness can increase your cravings really, really well. 9. Instant oatmeal or quick cook cereal. They are normally highly refined, and carbs that are higher refined are easier to overeat, are less filling, and in this way they do not promote calorie deficit. Actually, I forgot to say it in the beginning, that we lose weight when we eat less than we burn. Carbs are good, but refined carbs are not so good for you because of their impact on satiety and how much we can eat of these carbs. Couscous goes same direction. It's a carb, it's wheat. It is often sold as healthy, but it's easy to overeat. It's refined wheat. Even wholemeal couscous, notice how easy it goes with something fatty. If we add some fatty cooked meat, if we add olive oil and some fatty sauce with it, so it's a side dish which is considered healthy, but it's no better than pasta or bread. So be careful with this. Control your portions. Again, I don't want to scare you of any foods. All the foods I'm talking about are acceptable in everyday diet, but just be aware of portions and frequency of eating these foods and how they impact the amount of calories you eat. And 10th, healthy snack bars and protein bars. You probably are aware that they can have a lot of sugar or not enough protein. Some bars are just 10 grams of protein. What's the sense? And they also may be not very filling. Some people say that carb killer, for example, is very filling for them, but I don't find it filling. And calorie-wise, it's almost the same as Snickers or Mars bar. It's also highly processed food. And what I noticed among my clients, and I was there as well, is that we often choose healthy bar when we want to snack on something, when we feel certain emotional discomfort. Here I want you to talk about behavior, about psychology. We may not be hungry, but want something sweet. And then we reach for healthy bar. But we still get these extra calories. Maybe it's not high in sugar, maybe it's not high in fat, but we do get extra calories into our bodies when we actually do not need it. So, and in this way, and also we do not satisfy, and at the same time, we also, under cognitive restraint, Do not eat sweets. Do not eat sweets. This is quite typical behavior on a diet, refusing sweets but eating more of healthy sweets. As a result, you do not get what you want, what you really want, and you do not get into calorie deficit. So you have this cognitive restraint. You try hard, but you do not lose weight. And if you tend to eat when you're not hungry or crave sweets when you're not hungry, more often than not, there are psychological reasons behind it. It can be stress, as simple as that, or it can be some emotions undercover. And in order to stop this emotional eating, you need to work in a psychotherapy. So, if you feel like you need psychological or technical help with weight loss, please find a link under this video, fill in a form, and I will contact you and we can work together. I can help you lose weight, taking into consideration your physical activity, your food preferences, and your mental state, your relationships with food, with body, and your abilities to control food. We can work on this as well, and normally this is a focus of my work with clients. And second, you can find a link to my Instagram where I show how I maintain healthy weight from position of caring for my body, how I train, how I eat. Sometimes I restrict myself in food, sometimes I skip workout sessions. I'm not perfect, and this is what I want to deliver, that you can be not perfect but still stay in a good shape. Please write comments under this video, share with friends who may benefit from it, subscribe, and see you soon.